All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see everyone popping up in the side chat. That being said, Alan, please start us off right, brother.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. It has been one hell of a week. It has been one crazy, crazy week. Lots and lots of stuff going on, and um, yeah, on top of my normal 65, 70 hour week. Other than Thursday, I didn't go to work Thursday. I had to wrap myself up into a blanket and climb into my -0 degree sleeping bag to break a fever that I caught out of nowhere.
It's never ending, is it?
No, you got two options. Either you're healthy and you don't need to worry about it, or you're sick and you got to do something about it. And, the story progresses from there, but I'll digress and let's get this show on the road.
All right, Jamie, what's going on, brother?
Just finished supper, man.
Bojangles.
You gotta love some Bojangles, but that was breakfast. Uh, we grilled some burgers on the grill. I got this right after church, and it's still got ice in it. It's been in the refrigerator. Can y'all hear that? That's pretty cool, man.
They got pretty good tea also.
It's too sweet. It really is. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, man. It's good to see all you guys. I've been missing a couple of times, so all right, straighten up. It come to law.
All right, Bo, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. Just living life. You know, I got, parents, godparents, in laws, and everybody's taking their turn in the barrel in the hospital. So that's all I've been dealing with this week.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It's never easy when it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Rob, what's happening, man?
Not too much. Just trying to digest dinner. Nice steak and homemade mac and cheese. Because I'm a damn American. Unlike those people that don't like mac and cheese. You should all be deported. uh, yeah, just the normal busy work. I had to work today. Go meet a new customer. Potential new customer. Spent some time with them. Met the daughter, the son-in-law, and yeah, I think I'm family now. And popped into another customer that's local to that area, about an hour away from me, just because I'm in the neighborhood. Double check on things, make sure everybody's happy, and that's the stuff that keeps me in business. Other than that, got back and cut a neighbor's yard because apparently I'm a nice guy, and I'm here now digesting dinner.
Hold on. So you met the entire family pretty much. What kind of business are you in here, buddy?
Well, initially it was something about weather stripping, and they want to do something with a entryway porch. So, but got there, it turned out to be more like carport cabinets, other cabinets, possibly changing their kitchen around, messing with the door, building a new deck. So it's turning into a whole damn thing again. So, which is a lot of times with the way it goes. So, yeah. You gotta love it when you get there and they're like, "What should I do with this? What should I do with that?" And it's like, yeah. Well, you
Well,
know,
so as long as they actually listen to the recommendations, that's the thing. I've been to some jobs before, and you're looking at it and you tell them what needs to really should happen to make it right, but they don't want to spend the extra money or the extra time or whatever on it.
Yeah. In this case, there's 2 entryways. One's covered, one's not. Obviously, the one that's not needs attention. The one that is fine. But she was asked, should we change this too to match? Because we're gonna go with like a Trex decking on the other one. And I told her, myself, as you guys know, I'm cheap. There's nothing wrong with it. It looks fine. I'd keep it. Cosmetically, maybe you want them both to match, but me, I could care less. They're both in good shape. Up the code. What's the problem? Why fix it if it ain't broke? Wait till you got a problem, then replace it. But I think that got some points there too. So because most people try to sell you a whole new house.
Yeah, right. Decks can get expensive too, depending on the size of the deck and what's going on.
Oh yeah, I know. I got one to do 17th. I got to do a redeck, re-rails, vinyl post, some round black bars that go in for balusters. It's like a special order thing, and it adds up quick.
Oh yeah.
Because somebody's wife saw a porch on somebody else's house and snapped a picture and said, "I want this," to her husband. So
Oh yep, been there, seen that.
That's how it goes.
well, Rob, in your field, if people don't know, Rob does a lot of innovating, constructing, renewing. In your field, you also posted a video about females working for you on the job site. Do you find sexual harassment to be a problem?
No, because I sleep with her anyway, basically. But she bothers me sometimes. But that's I don't mind.
So who do you go to? Do you have your own separate HR to deal with that issue?
Not really. I just report it to her, I guess. So she handles most of that stuff. So.
Well, now you usually tell her that. Don't you usually tell her you will give her 10 minutes to quit that? And so if she gets into like 11 minutes, what do you do then?
I threaten I'm gonna fire her, and then she laughs at me. So usually.
Hold on. You're insinuating that Rob can go for 11 minutes.
If she doesn't happen to smack your ass when you bend over to pick up your tool belt, do you question if you want to keep her employed or not?
No. At work, everything's pretty business. What happens when we get home, that's another story. So, and then of course, if I'm too much of a dick at work, what happens at home isn't always to my favor. So
All right, Bama, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just living life and digging in on getting ready to shoot this rifle. Got to get some loads up and working on that. Had some difficulty getting powder, but finally got it in. So I'm about ready to start reloading.
What powder are you using?
Well, the recommended for 300 PRC is Rotumbo, of course, but that's been hard to get. And then right out of the blue the other night, I got a flash from Midway that they had it in stock. So I grabbed up 2 pounds of it. And I've got 2 pounds I've got Ramshot Magnum. That was the other. That was, hey, this will work. Supposedly the 2 that are recommended are H1000 from Hodgdon or Rotumbo, and Ramshot falls right dead middle of both of them. So you can use all 3 of those. But unfortunately, H1000 and Rotumbo have been out of stock. but I'm good now.
Which one gives you your tighter groups?
I haven't shot it yet, so I don't know. That is yet to be determined.
So, are you gonna shoot some factory ammo through it first and set the brass?
I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna shoot reloads right from the beginning. I measured out the chamber and got all the dimensions and everything for the gun. I think I'll shoot a minimum load, see how it does, and then let that fire form, and then I'll use it from then on.
Is all your brass the same brand, or you got some different types? Different brass.
It's all the same.
Okay. It's a rabbit hole.
What do you say? What would you say, Bud? Would you go out and you just buy a couple of boxes of factory?
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just starting out to shoot reloads, but as far as long as you got brass, but I always like to get different types of brass, because even that's going to affect your groups and point of impact.
I typically like to warm up the barrel with some factory rounds, and then go and shoot reloads after that. It may not make a difference. I don't know, but
I've heard both. So
it's just something that I learned over the years that I was told, and that's what I kind of just stuck with.
I was all, CW told me the same thing. He said, start off with a couple of boxes of factory loads. Well, a box of factory loads for 300 PRC is not cheap.
No, it's not cheap. But the thing of it is you're getting that barrel warmed up. You're getting things going with it, and then you're getting some fire form brass.
Yeah.
So now you've got something to work off of.
I talked to Eric Cortina, and he said, "Are you going to shoot reloads?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Then why wouldn't you just shoot reloads?" Mm-hmm. I thought, well, he's a long range genius, so I don't know. I'm going. I'll get a couple of boxes anyway.
This is a new rifle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm no expert or nothing, but I personally, it seems to make sense to me to run a few factory boxes through. Not only do you get the brass or see what the temperament is, what it likes, what it doesn't like, but at the same time, you got a baseline. Nothing's wrong. It'll work. Standard ammo. You put your own in, and something funny happens. Now you have more factors to eliminate. Was it your own ammo? Was it the rifle? It seems like it's, to me, I would feel more comfortable that way, just in case. Not stating that you're gonna have an issue or anything, but weird things happen sometimes, and the last thing you want to do is be running in circles when come to find out it was a rifle to begin with, and you're thinking it's your ammo or this or that. I don't care if it's what it is. If it's new, I'm testing it. So to make sure it works proper before I do any alterations. But that's just me.
No, that's an excellent point.
The way I look at it.
You're gonna run around thinking it could be this, could be that, but you don't know if you're just putting in reloads.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. A box, at least a box of factory would give me a benchmark.
Well, and the thing of it is, like, even so, I build a lot of ARs, and anytime I build one, I take it out and I shoot factory first. I'm not gonna load for it until I put some factory down on it. Why? Because I want to see, number one, is it going to function correctly? Number two, what kind of weight grain does it like as far as a bullet? So now I can test out different bullet weights with factory ammo and see what it likes best in that particular barrel and figure it out. And then I can go to reload and then perfect the load.
If you have gas adjustments, it can also help you set that as well on your ejection, how it's coming out. If you have factory and everything's running to this angle, and then I go ahead and pop reloads in, you can see the difference, which you could obviously alter as well.
Well, I mean, and there's nothing to say that, you just because you bought factory doesn't mean that one individual sat down and precisely manufactured that ammo.
Very
'Cause
true.
I-
Oh no, you might get someone from a Friday, or you might get someone from a Monday, I've had factory ammo mess up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and probably every single one of us has.
I've seen blow a
you
brand
know,
gun up. So with factory loads, so it it does.
It's,
Well,
it's the same thing that I always say when it comes to like guns as well. You got to remember it's a manufacturing process.
Right.
You're always going to run into issues at some point in time. You may get lucky for so many years and get by, no problem, but sometime you're going to walk into an issue. And it's an issue that was created by that because it's a manufacturing process.
Yeah, you got the human element involved. So
well, 300 PRC right now is what, $275, $3 a round if you buy factory. But that's that decent ammo. I never look at like bottom barrel ammo. Is that what you might be seeing around your area for factory?
yeah, there is no bargain basement 300 PRC. I mean, it's not like AR-15 stuff where there's some cheap stuff on the market. You get Hornady or Burger or Lapua. You're buying the top end stuff. So
Shoot, man, $3 a round. Yeah, I don't know why you don't have your butler figure this out and just have them supply the ammo.
Well, I mean, the other thing you can do too is you could go with just the regular base load and work your way up from there.
that is what I'm gonna do.
And kind of figure it from that point. But I think it's always good to throw some factory ammo first. But
Well, let's take out the
tight,
equation. Let's take out the equation that it's a self-built rifle. Yeah. So, Jamie, you get a brand new rifle. You run factory or you run reloads to give it its first voyage?
First thing I'm doing is reading the directions from the barrel manufacturer about barrel break-in, and I'm following that. And hand loads are, there's a fine line between reloads and hand loads, so you need to keep that in mind too. But and what Bama Dad was saying about starting at the minimum, I never do that. I start in the middle and go both ways at once. I mean, literally, I start in the middle of the range and go both ways at 10% increments for each ladder load, 5 shots. And yeah, you go to a range and you've got 5 shot ladder loads. It's going to take you a while because you don't want to overheat that barrel. But before you get to that, you need to go through the barrel break-in process. And if you want to do that with factory ammo, I don't have a problem with that. But I wouldn't buy, if I knew that I was eventually going to be shooting my own hand loads, which we've established that Bama Dad's going to do that, I wouldn't buy more than 1 box. And I would go through that barrel break-in process. And hopefully you got a few extra left so that if you're having problems with anything that you've hand loaded, which you shouldn't, but in case you do, you've got a reference there of what works. And not just what works, you've got a factory loaded piece of ammunition that you can measure and see exactly where your problem is. One of those factory loads needs to be demilled. You need to pull that bullet. You need to weigh that powder charge. Try to identify that powder and see what they're doing, and then work up from there. But never do I start at a minimum load from load data.
You think a kinetic puller would pull a bullet out of a 300?
Absolutely. There, you hear a lot of people talking about, well, I couldn't pull them. Well, you're not doing it right. That kinetic puller works if you're banging it on the right substance. And
It'll work on. So anytime I got to pull bullets, I always use concrete. And if you have to smack the shit out of it, you smack the shit out of it. It'll pull just about anything you need to damn well pull.
I actually use a weight of, barbells. I use a barbell weight to bang mine on. It's solid steel.
I used to use a really thick block of wood, but after beating on it so many times, it finally cracked. So then I just went out to use the concrete instead.
Okay.
Got a question for Jamie there, since regarding the topic. Why specifically don't you start at the minimum? Now, is it because you're worried about a squib, or is it faster, do you think, starting at the middle? I mean, what puts you on to that is what I'm asking.
Components are expensive. You're cheap.
Okay.
Fill in the blank.
And ultimately, you're wanting to work your way to the hottest that you can get anyway. So
You want as much velocity as you can get safely and accurately. Like I heard a guy say one time, and it's always stuck with me. You can't miss them fast enough to kill them. So if you're running max velocity but you don't have the accuracy to go with it, what are we doing here?
Yeah, velocity's not everything. It's the accuracy. What does that gun like the most?
Right. You can have it absolutely going booking it down range, but if it's not grouping right, then it's not doing its job.
And see, that's why you start in the middle, because you start out in the middle, and then the next time you load up some bullets, you can load up 5 of them at a little bit lighter and another 5 of them a little bit heavier. Which one is tightening up that group?
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, if I may be so bold. This is not my live stream, but Bama Dad actually sent me his load data. Okay, so we've got one of the powders is a starting load of 70.7 grains. The max load is 76.4. Okay, so let's round up. Let's go 71 to 77. What's the dead middle point of 71 and 77? It's not a rhetorical question. I'm waiting for somebody to answer.
That's 74. Jesus.
Okay. All right. So starting with 74 grains, then at 71 and 77, we're looking at 10% of that. Let's just say 0.7 grains is 10%. So let's go 74, start there. We're going to go 2 lower. So we're going to start at 74, then 73.3, and then 72.5. Then on the upper side, we're going to go 74.7 and 72.4, 78, whatever, 75.4. And that's going to give us our 5 initial 5-shot groups. Then with another powder, Ramshot Magnum, you're looking at almost the same range, but a more top end. So you just do that. Then when you get to that top load, of your ladder loads. See where you're at when you take these out to take these ladder loads out to shoot them. You want to be conscious of a lot of things before you ever go out there to shoot those first group of ladder loads. Feel your gun, feel how that bolt works, know how it feels like with nothing in it, and then know how it feels like with a factory round in it. Pay attention to these things, because once you get there with your ladder loads, pay attention when you're closing the bolt. Make sure that it feels the same as it does with a ladder load. And then when you, with a factory load, then when you're unloading the gun, pay attention to how hard that bolt lift is. We might be having some pressure issues, even at the minimum charge that you've got going on. Take a look at your primers, take a look at your, all of the signs for overpressure, and keep doing that all the way up. And what I've found with the method that I'm describing here, you get to that top, and you still got plenty at the top end. So at that point, you would start at the bottom and then work up to the maximum. Start at the top of that ladder load and go the same increments up 5 more until you get a really good grouping. And what we're talking about with a precision rifle like this, you at 100 yards, you should be getting well under an inch, if not clover leaves, one ragged hole.
Do you check your crimp on those there, Jamie?
I do not crimp for a bolt action rifle.
Okay. Well, if you're shooting it a semi-auto.
I don't shoot.
I shoot the semi-auto, so I got to watch the crimp, because you can definitely crimp it too tight and end up with overpressure.
Well, in my experience and in my opinion, a semi-auto is not a precision rifle.
Gassman?
I'm going to have to say I disagree, because you've shot my 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10, and you know it's a precision rifle, so I have to disagree.
And at my 308, I got that down to a quarter inch groups at 100.
And I shot Christian Gress 6.5 AR-10, and it is an absolute tack driver. I'm saying with my experience, what I've done, I don't do semi-autos for precision.
It all comes for the semi-autos. It all comes down to barrel break-in, finding out what powder it likes the best, the bullet weight. I mean, which brass is it operating? There's
a lot of factors that come into play.
Let me make it easy for you guys. I'm like Rob. I'm cheap. I'm lazy. I do bolt action. Okay.
No, there's nothing wrong with bolt action. I'm just saying that you can turn an AR style gun into a precision weapon. But I mean, the bolt actions are going to overall, the bolt actions are going to beat the semi-autos all day. But you can make a semi-auto and AR into a precision gun, but it takes a lot more work.
Right. And one of the biggest things there is, I would say 9 times out of 10, you're building it yourself.
Absolutely.
You're not buying a factory one. Not that factory is bad, but you're going to get way better results by putting things together yourself and figuring out what you want and building it up from there.
G23 had a question there that goes along with it. Scotsman had popped up there for a minute, which I assume his wife's probably over his shoulder and asked, because, those Glock guys are just worrying about the next cool thing to put on their gun. So, but
yes, bullet weight matters, and you have to figure out what the bullet weight the gun likes. So you play around with it. That's why a lot of us a lot of reloaders or casters because we get to buy different molds, figure out different weights, cast them up, and play with them. Obviously, you can buy factory ones to go in and reload as well. But yeah, you're gonna play around with the bullet weights and figure out what's gonna give you the best result.
Well, with these being almost $4 a piece, we got to get there pretty quick.
$4. Woo!
Pretty close. $3.30 something cents a piece.
I think Rob just shit himself.
I did just a little bit. I did.
Rob, when it comes to rifles, you got to be a reloader, or you won't be able to afford to shoot.
Yeah. Another thing about bullet weight and bullet shape is Miss Kitty says out there, and which semi-auto, not precision. I don't know that. I'm a bolt action guy, but the bullet weight is going to be determined a lot by the twist rate of the barrel.
Yep.
Don't y'all think?
Yep. Twist rate makes a big difference. And again, you go back, you look at the books, you do your research, and again, have multiple books. Don't just go to one book. You got to have multiple books, do your research, and play with the numbers. We know Vanessa loves numbers out there. Play with the numbers. You got to play with the numbers, and there's a lot of work that goes involved into figuring out what's going to work right.
G23 says they now make a bolt action upper for the AR platform. Have you shot one of those, or do you know anybody that's got one that's actually had some good success with it?
I've seen a few people have them, but I've never shot one myself, and I haven't really talked to anyone, so I don't know exactly how well they work. I will say that the ones that I've seen are not necessarily cheap. And there's different ones out there. You can get them on the cheaper side, but I'm not going to go cheap if I'm building something. I'm going to make sure I'm putting the money and the time in and making sure it's right. So you're going to build something, don't go cheap.
Yeah, CW has
Cheap
one.
doesn't always mean bad, though. You know, there's things out there, and I'm sorry, the cheap guys got to bring it up, but some products of the same quality is paid. But finding out what those are.
When you're building something that is intended to defend yourself, don't go cheap.
I think the point I'm making, if it's same material, same tolerances, just a different name on the product, there's not too much of a difference.
That's not always the case, though.
Right. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying sometimes people overpay for a Yeti when they're not getting much more than a Coleman. You know what I mean?
So to your point, I'll agree with you to a certain extent. To your point, when you go out there and you buy an AR bolt, you can go to this company and buy one. You can go to this company and buy one, or you can go to Toolcraft themselves, or another company that sells an off one that doesn't have the Toolcraft name on it, and you're going to get it way cheaper. It's the exact same bolt. That I will agree with. However, there are a lot of different parts out there that you do not go cheap on when you're building something, because you really got to make sure that this thing is going to hang on and stick together and not blow apart on you and cause all kinds of issues.
Scotsman, you don't go cheap when you're putting a rifle together, right?
Right.
You get you buy the best quality you can get. That's what you're saying, right?
The best that you can afford.
So why are you telling my gunsmith, the guy I'm having, that I am money bags and I've got all kinds of money to blow and I'm rich? I'm not.
He's just trying to help him out.
I'm trying to help him out.
Exactly. I'm trying to help the guy out.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, I hate to say it. I mean, it's, and a lot of it depends on geographically where you're at and the market where you're at, because here, the mom and pop shops, they're not 10% higher or 15% higher, they're 40% higher. So
It's a lot higher here too. Yeah.
I
Well,
bypass.
and when it comes to buying parts, if you're going to build something, and when it comes to buying parts, look online. You know, literally, I cannot tell you how many emails I get a day. I've lost count. It's probably close to 150, 200, depending on the day. And it's all gun companies. And it's this sale, that sale, this sale, and so on and so forth every single day.
Yeah.
You just got to pay attention. And when you see something that you're looking for on your list of things you need, jump on it.
Right then. And if you need something, that's the worst time to buy. Because you're at the mercy of whatever they're selling it for at that time. Case in point, Jamie's got me wanting a front rest for shooting at the range. And I like that Caldwell, what's it called, Jamie? Rock.
The Rock.
I liked it, and I was just about to pull the trigger on it and buy it, and I thought it was a little pricey. And then I turned around the other day, just right out of the blue. Here comes Midway sends out an email. They've got the Rock BR kit with everything, and they've got it marked down lower than what they were selling just a plain Rock for. And you're talking about their ultra precision versus just the rest. And I called Jamie. I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Don't let that slip by. Buy it. If you're gonna get one, buy it." So
Yeah, you got to jump on it while it's hot. That's the thing
Well,
of it.
it's one of these things that's kind of got me worried. It's you jump online real quick and you go look at it, and it says we'll notify you when it's in stock.
You
I don't like
got to
that
be
stuff.
careful with those ones. Yeah, be careful
Yeah.
with those ones because
Will I ever see that
they're
product?
they're preemptively selling what they don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're waiting to get it to ship to you. So there's no idea when you're getting. It's like what that Planet. What's that one called there? I can't think. It's
Optics
famous.
Planet.
But
Optics
Yeah,
Planet does that a lot. So they'll have something, and they'll say, "Go ahead and pay for it now, and we'll ship it when we get it." Well, that could be 3 months, that could be 4 months, that could be 6 months, it could be a year, and they don't know precisely exactly what they're getting coming in. So you may not even get one. You may just get a fucking refund.
Well,
And
the
a lot
weird
of-
thing is everybody else has it in stock.
a lot of times with stuff like that, I'd rather pay $5 more just to know it's there. You know.
Right. I had that Springfield 1911 I bought. I was looking at one company, and I was having some issues on their website, and I found it on another company for $50 more. I'm gonna pay the $50 more so I don't have any issues. You know, sometimes you gotta pay a little bit extra just to make sure you ain't got no issues and you get what you want.
Hollow Sun had a good deal going they had a good deal going on a Hollow Sun site I was looking for, and came up with best price on the search. But same thing, they'll notify you when it comes in. I ended up doing a search on eBay, ended up purchasing that. It was a legitimate one. So I know everybody talks so much shit about eBay. I've used it for years. I don't have problems. One time I had a piston get busted, and they sent me 2 pistons as a replacement, and it was like 2 days later. The whole shipping thing was like 4 days total. But basically, I've always had good experience. I just bought head gaskets, water pump, timing belt kit, all types of shit for my car, which I don't even need yet, but it's due to be done. So I'm going to plan on doing that soon. But anyway, I've had no problem.
I've had good luck with eBay over the years. I bought a lot of different gun parts off of eBay. I bought a set of golf clubs off of eBay. You name it. I bought a lot of different things off of eBay, and I've had really good luck. I've not really had any bad instances with it that I can think of.
Well, the great thing about eBay is if somebody misrepresents what they're selling to you, eBay will make them give you money back.
I've had parts returned for work because of that and stuff.
They don't get paid until you're happy.
Yep.
So,
and I like the fact that you don't have to become a member. I can just be a guest. Pop in, click the filters. Made in U.S. free shipping. And everybody, free shipping with Amazon. Yeah, maybe. And then if you pay for it, and then they get you in all that other crap. All this, I just hit it in a filter, and boom, it's there. So what's the problem?
And one thing I like with eBay too is, for example, I was out in Iowa, and we had someone come to us. Robin came to us and said, "Hey, I need this for this gun." We were looking at her firearm, and she had a problem with it, and we figured out the issue. Me and Alan were looking at it, figured out what was wrong with it. And I jump online real quick, and I'm looking on eBay, and I find the part I need. And the nice thing with eBay is even if I don't know my password, they'll text me a code, then I can go ahead and punch that code in, and boom, I can get in, and I'm done.
That's cool. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can take care of that get the part there, and not have to worry about it. So.
Another thing I hear people say is they don't like to bid and all that. I never once bid on something. I'm not doing the auction thing. I don't have the time. I've heard people do it, and sometimes it works out. But I just always, in my filters, buy now. That way it's all a regular purchase, new condition. You know what I mean? If you take a second, set your filters up, it's you shouldn't have any problems.
I do a lot of the make offer.
Okay. Yeah. People do different things. Yeah. I always, I'm looking for new, buy now, whatever. So, but I guess you can haggle or bid.
I've done quite a few of the make offers too. Typically it's on bullet molds. And I've been pretty successful on the bullet molds.
I have too. It's,
there's a couple of things that I haven't been successful on.
And I hate to say it, but a lot of times
I've
like on
eBay for BMW parts.
VW parts.
Yeah, there was a couple of parts that I wanted to replace on the BMW, but I sure the hell didn't need to buy new, more or less pay actual BMW prices. So yeah, I got it on eBay, and then because I wasn't in a rush for the things, I went ahead and here's my offer. And I mean, on what was asking for $150 part, I ended up paying $85.
Yeah.
So
nice.
If you got the time, you know what you're looking for, and you got the time to bide with, you can actually kind of find people that are willing to make good deals.
It's my uncle owned a transmission shop. And for years, when I bought any kind of parts, especially if I was buying them from a dealership, first thing I'd go in and say, I need jobber rate. Well, who do you work for? And I'd tell them my uncle's business. And they said, okay. Tell Gary we said, hey. and immediately they dropped like 40% off the price.
Oh, that works. Yeah. Any auto dealer. I'm not going to say it works 100% now, but it used to. I had a friend at a dealership, and if I needed something, I'd call him and he'd tell me the closest one to pick it up at. And I shit you not, it was like half price or less for dealer parts. So, it's, I don't know if you want to call it a scam. He doesn't work there anymore. I didn't say any names, but anyway, but beautiful, man. Beautiful. It's amazing. So even the auto stores, if you spend enough money there, I don't know if the average guy knows this, but they do give discounts more so than what they advertise in a sense. Even down to like the mechanic special on brake pads. Don't ever buy those, because those are like the silvers or the cheapest goddamn pads in the store. Half of them are cracked in the box, but they're like $10 a set. And then the mechanic's passing it off to you for $50, $60, whatever. So you got to really look around. Yeah.
Knowing you're going to come right back because those cheap ass brake pads are going to wear out.
Yep, it's basically business. Or you're back in 2 weeks later because they're squeaking because a pad broke, or so now you need rotors or whatever. You know what I mean? It's no good. And a lot of the brake shops too, they never grease the freaking glide pins.
No.
So,
Well,
which is gonna make your calipers create problems, and then you're gonna have to come back, and then they're gonna sell you a whole new brake service. So just stupid ass grease. It takes like literally a minute, not even to clean the pins up. Well, maybe a minute, whatever. But you get my point. It's simple stuff, but these shops get paid by job, not by, whether you're happy. So they're just pumping them out.
And the bigger issue is that the cars today are built to fail on purpose, and they're built in a certain way where they don't want you to work on them by yourself. They want you to have to take it to a shop.
Mm-hmm.
They're
And they want you to buy a new one in
that way on
5
purpose.
years.
They're designed to make it so fucking awkward that you can't get in there and do it, and don't want to pull this out and don't want to pull that out. It's designed that way on purpose.
Yeah, Rob's telling you what he's saying is 100% right. I mean, if you can take it into a shop and they can work on it, but it's going to cost you so much, you might as well just get another car. They're trying to sell you that monthly payment for the rest of your life.
All right, so we're getting close to halfway through the show. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Alan and the camel hitting his car.
So we're talking about Rob being cheap.
We all know what happened this past week, and it's a very sad situation. And unfortunately, we had another mentally deranged fucking person go out and pull the trigger. And we lost a great patriot, someone who stood for the Republic, stood for the Union, and was out there spreading the good word. There's been a lot of different videos, different posts, this, that, the other, conspiracy theories of this and all the rest of it, of what happened. And there's a lot to this. And I will say that I've seen a lot of different videos. I've seen a lot of different things. I've had a lot of people message me. A lot of people ask me, was he wearing a vest? Was this, and so on and so forth. From everything that I have seen, based off of how he was moving, how his shirt looked, and all the rest of it, no, he was not wearing a vest. Based off of how that bullet hit and as fast as it hit, that was a straight shot. There was no deflection, none of that shit. It was a straight shot, period.
And I'm sorry, maybe I'm dense. Correct me if I'm wrong or tell me I'm stupid. I don't care either way. What does it matter if he had on a vest or not? He got shot in the neck.
Well, they were trying to argue that it was deflection. Now, here's the thing. If he was wearing hard body armor, you'd be able to tell immediately. That shit sticks out like a sore thumb. So now we're talking about soft body armor. If he's wearing soft body armor, 90% of your rifle rounds are going straight through it. They're not going to deflect off. So the theory of him wearing body armor and it being a deflection, I got to call bullshit on, because there's so many things that if you actually look how body armor works, it doesn't come into play when you put that in this situation.
I'm on the other side of this argument, and I think he was wearing a plate. There is a photo that came out, but with that photo, is it 100%? Do we know how long the event was? Did the guy take a break? Did he switch to armor? His wife insists he wears armor, and that's been made public. His security staff says he usually has lately. So that is there, and when you see some of the images, it does look like it could be plate armor. in my opinion, at least from what I've seen. And I did watch the slow down videos. I've watched the shirt come up. You can look at the bottom of the shirt where there's clearly a ridge of something coming back down, whether he had an undershirt, compression shirt with a plate in it. To me, from what I seen slow down, I'm on the side that, you know, it was a straight shot. It did clip the very top edge of the plate, and that's what caused a deflection, and that's why a hole would be so big in the neck like that, I think. So
Well,
hold on, let me finish, and then you can disagree and we can argue whatever. I'm just saying, due to that, a 30-06, if you get shot in the neck, dude, the back of your neck's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. I don't care if it's a hunting round, if it's a practice round with a 30-06, it's gonna leave a big exit. And in the videos, we don't see any exit. So therefore, just that alone means something had to happen to that energy of the round. So therefore, possibly a deflection into the neck. It's already mushroomed open, slows down, possibly into the cranium. It didn't seem to exit. So at that point, you know, whether it hit his spine right there, the magic spot, that's personally what I think happened. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I see, that's what it looks like. And
so everyone out there has been talking about precision shooter, marksman, this, that, the other, fucking sniper, blah, 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 blah. Look,
the guy screwed up, dude. He was probably aiming for the head, dropped low, and the wind took it right.
The kid's not a fucking sniper. And if you actually really pay attention to what's going on, and you listen to how the round is, and you listen to what's going on, and you have to listen to the sound. This is what I'm telling you. Listen to the sound of it. It was a straight shot. It didn't deflect off of anything. It was a straight fucking shot. And more than likely, it caught the wind a little bit and it shifted it, and he got lucky. Okay. He got lucky and he caught the edge. That's it. He didn't get the full neck shot. He's probably going for a head shot. And he caught the wind. Wasn't aiming in the right spot. Yep. He wasn't aiming in the right spot, caught the wind. Because he's an amateur and doesn't know what the fuck he was doing. And boom, he ended up catching the edge of the neck.
See, that I agree on, but I think it still hit the plate. So
whether he was wearing body armor or not,
we can agree to disagree. Yeah, it's still upsetting that it happened. So definitely, I think it's ridiculous that there's all these people celebrating it. Like it's something good. I mean, even if it's somebody on the opposing side of my beliefs, I'm not gonna like celebrate that they were assassinated in front of their family out there. I mean, that's just
one of the biggest ones. One of the biggest ones that everyone needs to pay attention to is Congress. Mike Johnson called for a moment of silence in Congress, and what did the Democrats in Congress do? They started screaming no. If you live in one of those fucking states, vote those fuckers out. And vote them out fucking now.
I'm also concerned they might try to use this to go after hunting weapons now. Because, if you hold up the average AR round or AK, you take your choice, and hold up a 30-06, there's a visible difference. And maybe the public would see that as a problem. You know what I mean? I would hope not, but you know what I mean. I see it being
there's already calls for more control and this, that, the other.
Crazy.
One of the things I will say is I did see a video where they were claiming he had the rifle down the back of his leg. Now, is it possible to shove a rifle down your pant leg? Yeah, most likely. But here's the thing. Supposedly had a bolt action Mauser with a scope on it. And I don't know if you all seen the pictures or not, but it was a fixed loophole mount. So that's not coming off of there. That's going to be really hard to shove that down your fucking pant leg.
They said it went all the way from his underarm down his pants leg. They got a video of him walking to the side.
I saw the video.
Do you see him jumping off the roof, though? Because where's the gun when that happens?
I don't think
so I got sent a video earlier today and you can see that something is wrapped up in a towel as he's jumping off. Now, my
You sure
thing
it's
with
not
it,
the backpack?
well,
Because he threw the backpack and then went down and picked it up. So, I mean,
to me,
again, I didn't completely analyze it, but I was more concerned about the shot because that became a
right.
big thing.
Well,
I had the video. The gun does seem lacking.
My big thing with it is you got a bolt action rifle with a scope on it. This fixed mount. It's a fixed mount because it's the picture that was released. Those are loophole mounts and those are fixed. They're not detachable. So you're not shoving a full fucking gun down your leg with a scope on it. It's gonna show. It's gonna show. I don't care where you stick it. It's gonna show. Someone's gonna see something. Whether you shove it on the back of your leg or whatever, you're gonna fucking see something. That scope is going to be protruding and causing a lot of issues, and you're going to be extremely uncomfortable.
Well, he looked pretty uncomfortable walking to the site.
Yeah, he did. He
He
did.
was
See, I'm with him on that.
and
Walking
when
to
he came out of the woods, when he came off that roof, he wasn't stiff-legged. He was
right.
moving.
That's where all the questions rise. It's like, well, what the hell? That's where my problem is. It's like you're saying, the roof. And then if he did supposedly pull the gun apart somehow up there while he's running and stuffed it in his bag, why would you take the time to stop and put it back together and lean it against a fence for the police to find? Like, wouldn't carrying a gun or anything that represented a gun look pretty bad, or messing with it out there in the woods? I mean, it seems like it's an unnecessary thing, like an unnecessary step.
Well,
I don't know.
and so
Not with all the conspiracies with this, but at the same time, where's the gun, man?
He was cutting through yards. He was cutting through people's yards and so on and so forth. So, regardless, the way he was doing it, it's clear the intent. But there's a lot of things that come into question. There's still a lot of unanswered things, and we'll never know the exact thing because you're never going to tell us.
But you know what?
It's the same with everything that ever happens. We get told X amount of what they want to tell us, and then we have to try and figure out the rest.
And it doesn't matter. We know the guy shot him. That's really the only thing that's the only thing that comes into purview anyway. I mean, what he did with the gun, whether how he got there with the gun, that may be a problem if he didn't carry the gun in. I believe that walking stiff-legged to it shows he had the gun.
Do they have anything, ballistically to say he actually shot it? I'm not trying to be a conspiracy, but when it comes down to actual facts, what do we have? Do we see him pull a trigger? Do we see him on the roof in prone position? Or do we just know a shot happened and a guy got up and started running?
Well, here's the thing. They haven't released any ballistic information yet.
None.
So they're not saying he pulled the trigger. They're not saying anything yet. They have not released any of that.
Yeah, and they haven't released any forensic information at all. So
because that's questionable. When this very first happened, I said this to the lady. I was like, man, it'd be something if that dude was just up there smoking a joint, watching the show, and then heard a shot and was like, holy shit, took off, but then I seen the footage of him limping on the way in and all this stuff. So he definitely looks suspect. But what we suspect and what you can prove can be two different things.
We're coming up right on halfway through the show. So folks, what I would like to do, and please don't be a member of Congress on the Democratic side and be a fucking piece of shit. I would like to do a moment of silence. So for everyone out there, please sit with us, stand with us, whatever you may be doing at this point in time. And let's take a moment of silence for the man who stood for us for freedom, fought for freedom for us, Charlie Kirk. All right. Thank you, folks. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to everyone on the panel. And I hope it means a lot to you out there in the side chat as well, and anyone else that watches this afterwards. Alan, with that being said, we are halfway through. Would you like to shout out the side chat for me, brother?
I absolutely will. Absolutely. According to the YouTube list, Abigail, alone with company, Christian Grest, I don't know why I always have problems with that. G23, Ozzy Osbourne, we've had Edward Petty out here, Bald and Curious, Garage Guy 879. Yeah, good to see a lot of phenomenal people out there. Ozzy Osbourne, had new Texacan, yeah, SKS Hugo. Thank you all for joining us. It's yeah, I don't want to rekindle the body armor debate. I guess there was some report somewhere that was saying that he was wearing some type. He did have some type of soft body armor on. Now, I watched a lot of his debates over the past number of years. At no point did I ever see anything that resembled body armor on him. It was typically just a t-shirt. But I actually have seen a couple images that looks like there might be a possibility that he was wearing something. Nevertheless, it was a 30-06 projectile. I don't care if it was what they'd say, 136 yards or something. I found it appalling that they immediately said, "Oh, well, this was a professional hit." No, it wasn't. Anybody that's done any kind of hunting for any length of time can land a 36 yards. And then, of course, you always have to wait for the story to play out to actually learn more and more and more. And what we discovered is the guy that they have in custody, his father turned him in. I believe he was like a 31-year law enforcement veteran.
They say that's false, that that's the father's friend or something. But either way, the father had no problems. He was supposedly a legal guy.
The story I heard was the father called the youth pastor. The youth pastor had the police experience, and he called the police and turned him in. But who knows? I mean,
now there's reports of this person they have in custody was in a relationship with a possibly wannabe transgender male, and so I'm really not understanding how all these shootings and everything else have been coming from supposedly the people of love and understanding. And
well, and that's the thing of it. So, they're out there screaming about peace and this, that, the other. And then every time one of these things happens, who's doing it? It ain't us.
Mm-mm. Who's the ones that has gone on every social media channel and mocked his death? And not only how many people in the Secret Service? They've got one in the Secret Service and an FBI agent and somebody else. And Trump said every one of them that did it are fired.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
already been fired. Yep, they've already been fired. We're done.
Something to consider, though. I know, I think a lot of this is we want it to fit. It fits in a sense our narrative. That's what kind of scares me a little bit. It almost fits it too damn well. And it seems like in some cases they might try to skew things a little bit and make him, whatever, how they try to say he was, what was it, right wing, not at first or whatnot, or people were saying, I don't know. But I'm just stating, because it fits so damn well, maybe it's the parent in me. I don't know. I'm just skeptical. When a story's too goddamn good, it makes me start wondering. And like I said, I don't want conspiracies, but at the same time, our government, if you've worked for it, it's best interest of the government. It's just what it is.
Well,
Continuity of
and-
government.
Well, and that's part of this whole conspiracy
I don't-
thing that
I don't
they're
know,
sending
man.
out now. That this was part of some type of psychops, but
I'd say anything's
seen it
possible.
twice.
May not be likely, but anything's possible.
We've seen it over and over and over again, and that's what I'm not understanding with it. Is the psychops really trying to get the Christian conservative base riled up to the point of being violent? Charlie Kirk was exactly against all of that. He wanted to bring everybody to the table, because when people stop talking is when things get worse. And all the guy did was talk. We have a freedom of speech. He would, if you watched him for really any length of time, if you agreed with his political beliefs, agreed with his faith, agreed with his religion or not, the guy was a phenomenal debater, because he would spit out a fact and then tell you where he got it. So, he wasn't just randomly pulling crap out his ass to try and win a debate.
Well, and this is the thing. So they've been lying to us for many, many years. And when I say many, many years, it goes back all the way to World War One and the Titanic and all the rest of it. It goes way back then. But you got to remember that when Obama got put in office, Obama legalized propaganda. Now they can legally lie. They can legally lie to you up their ass, and you don't know what to believe. And that's why you see so many ads on television and all the rest of it, because they keep pumping that shit out, because they got to get you to follow a certain way and understand a certain thing, because that's what they want you to believe. Same thing with the whole bullshit COVID crap. It's so scary. We're all gonna die. This, that, the other. Do this, do that. Blah, blah, blah. And it was constantly pumped out. News constantly pumped it out. So on and so forth and so forth. You really got to pay attention to what's going on. When this happened, there were so many conflicting reports. There were so many different videos immediately that flew out like crazy. And when you're going to have someone who's a high-profile person, like Charlie was, he was pretty high profile, you're going to get that. But you're also going to get a lot of shit where you're going to have so many different theories of what actually happened, this, that, the other, because of what it is, who he is, and so on and so forth. Now, the other part to it, too, is a week prior, he was talking with Israel, and Israel was trying to offer him X amount of money for this, that, the other, and he refused. And there's a huge debate whether or not Israel's been involved in this.
I'd almost think the connection to Trump, I mean, if I was his wife, knowing that Trump almost got assassinated, I might be a little concerned. I mean, you're going to these places where, you set a table up and want to talk about an idea and they try to beat your freaking head in, and the police too. So it would kind of make sense that, his safety would have been upped a little bit after that. And if you look at the numbers, apparently people are trying to correlate his actions on campus has changed the outcome of campuses, the way they vote. Just here in the last cycle, where they've been known to be, the one way, and now they've kind of switched the other way. And one thing, about him and his style is he kind of killed it with kindness. I don't know if I've just recently watched him on a couple other different types of shows, even the Whatever Show, I think it's called, or whatever, where they speak about dating and men and women, all this. The dude is way, way, way nicer than I would be in just about every damn situation. He truly is. So to get upset, he was effective. He was effective, is what I'm getting. You know what I mean? Even if you don't like him, you can't really not like the guy. He was polite to you anyway. Like that's the worst part about all this. He wasn't a dick like me.
No. See, he was a dick like you, but he was a dick like you in a different way, because he was able to shut you down by being a nice dick.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's just it's crazy.
Like you and me, we talk a certain way, and we can shut someone down. We can put the facts out there, and we can shut them down. Boom, whatever. He talks in a certain way where he could still do it, slap you in the face, and you didn't even know you got slapped in the face.
Well, and you might actually think about it. Maybe not right there when you're put on the spot, but later you might actually think about what he said, and consider it, because he didn't insult you when giving you that information, or something to consider. Where I think a lot of us at a certain point where, we might insult you too. And at that point, your natural defense comes up, and it's, oh, fuck you. And,
He
you know what I mean? Where, it's like
a lot of people. He just did it in a way that they didn't realize they were being insulted.
Well, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I guess, you get my point. That's all I was saying. The guy was not, what I mean? I don't know. I get ridiculous. He was effective. That was my point. I think he was effective, and they don't like that, especially the younger people, because, they want to bring him.
He was driving something that they're realizing people are waking up to. They're realizing that people understand a little bit more of what's going on. And the problem is that they're starting to see that people are seeing that. And as they see people see that, they now have to intervene.
Well, the thing that sticks out to me more than anything is, here Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. How many people had to replace the windows in their stores because conservatives tried to burn the city down in protest to what happened? But you let one drug addict have a heart attack, and they blame it on a cop putting his knee on his back so he could submit the guy to arrest him. And they beat the windows out of the stores, burn police stations to the ground, turn cars over, set cars on fire. Like Alan said a minute ago, these are supposed to be the people of peace and reason. Where's the peace and the reason?
Well, the thing of it with them, it's non-existent. It's always been non-existent.
Exactly.
They are the ones that are the instigators. They instigate everything.
Absolutely.
And you can look at Congress. Go look at the members of Congress. They're the ones that instigate all this shit. Look.
They don't feel like there's a problem. When they do actions, they don't feel like it's a problem. But if you do something, they feel like it's a problem. That's part of the problem with all this, because they base everything off feelings and shit.
Well, and that's something that they drive a lot of. They want to drive the whole feeling thing. They want to drive the whole mentality. This, that, the other thing. They're putting things into your brain on purpose to try and get you to be a certain way. And there's a big issue with that. There's also a big issue with you got all these people in Congress on that side that sit there and say, oh, no, we're not going to honor a moment of silence. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. But they'll call for you to run out there and fucking, bash windows in, do this, do that, all the rest of it. When have any one of us ever said to anyone, please go do this. Please go out there and do that? Never, ever. But we got members of Congress that are supposed to be representing us. And this is my point. They're supposed to be representing us, telling us to go out there and please go cause issues, go damage this, go do this. How the fuck is that representing anybody? That's representing what you want and what your cause is. That's not representing a single person in our republic. And it is a republic, people. It is a fucking republic. It is not a fucking democracy. I'm so tired of hearing all these motherfuckers out there calling it democracy. It is a democracy to a certain extent as where we vote. And that's it, period. Nothing else. It's all about the vote. Everything else, it's a fucking republic. It's a constitutional republic. Period.
Well, we're sitting here, we've got a president in that America resoundingly voted in. We have a majority in the Congress and a majority in the Senate, but we're still not getting crap done because we've got a bunch of rhinos that every time it comes to a hard issue, they turn tail. This is time that and I'm not, thank God I'm not in the president, but if I was Trump, if they did it one time, I would publish it. I would humiliate them, and I would put in campaigns and ads in their states. They would never be elected again. And I would immediately endorse whoever the next leading Republican candidate was, so that they knew that they were done.
I saw an ad earlier, and it pissed me off. So this was for West Virginia, I believe it was. So you all know Wilson Ern Sears, right? She's the lieutenant governor. And she is someone that has served this country from the minute she got here. She's done everything she can to serve this country. And the other side is out there trying to make it that she is going to bend on to whatever Trump says, do this and do that, the other. But at the end of the ad, they've got her in the picture holding an AR. Are you fucking kidding me? You want to sit there and turn around and try and belittle someone that fucking stood and fought for this country that way? Really? That's a fucking disgrace. And that bitch should be fucking held accountable.
They've got to make a mockery out of these rhinos. They really do. I mean, just
they should, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Honestly, I'm more concerned who's going to be our next Trump. Because the way things are going.
What's he got?
We got so many. Yeah. What's he got to lose? But I'm just stating, he's one card, but what's our next card? Because what's going to happen next? Because is the next person going to pop in, put down on everything he started, and switch everything back, and we're right back to where we were? This is.
I don't know.
I think we got big problems coming. I mean, unfortunately, this moment, even right now, this with the Charlie Kirk, people doing, saying all this crazy stuff, getting fired, kind of shows a lot about the public right now. Like we're really kind of divided. The other side has a lot of money, influence. You could say they have the media. It's potentially even education in some senses. So how are we going to end up coming out of this? And obviously the president's just one branch, you know, we all know, but you know, there's multiple branches, you know what I mean? So therefore, if everything don't line up, nothing's really going smooth. Nothing's going to change, you know what I mean? Nothing's actually going to be enforced. Money's not actually going to be assigned to something. So therefore, you know, where do we go from here? That's my concern. Even if this is good, better than it was, how are we going to move on?
I have a question for you. When it comes to Trump, here's the thing. So yes, he's done a lot of good, but he's also done some shit that doesn't also add up to what he said he was gonna do. So is he really that good? Is he better than the others that we've had? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. He's better than the ones we've had. But is he really that good when he's putting through things that he said he would not do, and he's still putting them through anyway?
I'm still pissed about the last election. You know, the whole thing where, you know, in my opinion, I don't know if we could say it on YouTube, but it's just my opinion, YouTube. I think there was a lot of shit going on with that, you know, and he peacefully stepped down, and, you know, we had a term of this other guy, supposedly, but, and then now we got him back. I would like to see, you know, gloves off going after that. Like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. We should be able to trust our damn system. It shouldn't be ways of tampering or changing shit, or, you know, these court cases showing where they got people in there online entering a machine in the courtroom and showing them. But somehow none of this shit matters. Nobody remembers the motorhome that mysteriously supposedly blew up by the AT&T building in Texas with a bunch of those machines down on the bottom that were supposed to get looked at. And somehow a motorhome outside blew up the basement of an AT&T building. I don't know, man. Nobody even talked about that. It's like it didn't even happen.
Well, like, you go back and I hate to bring it up, but you go back and you look at 9/11. 9/11 again. They want to tell you that planes flew into these buildings and this, that, the other, and we all know that's bullshit. But the problem is there are so many people in this country that are so unwilling to understand that their government is against them. They want to sit there and deny that the government's going to do anything that will hurt them. Oh, the government's all about us. They care about us. No, they don't. They care about the almighty dollar and your fucking control of you. That's all they care about. They don't care about you.
Yeah, the government needs to do one thing, and that's protect the borders. Keep us from an invasion.
That's when they turned around and they enacted the Federal Reserve, they took ultimate control of the entire country.
I actually went by the Pentagon after that. I think it was the 13th, and nothing there looked like a plane crash.
When they enacted the Social Security number, you became a number. And you are a part of a system. And that's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely
33 to 40% of your income.
It's definitely sketchy the way things are done now. So it's hard to 100% believe any of this stuff. And, you know, maybe as a whole, the government justifies this, that, you know, for reasons you don't know, this is what's best for us. And, you know, maybe for reasons I don't know, they got a point with something. But, you know, a lot of this, you know, not knowing, I just don't feel comfortable with it.
They'll always say it is for your safety or for the safety of the country or for national security. They've always got a reason for it. And the thing of it is, look, that only goes so far. At what point do people stop and actually look at what's going on and wake the fuck up? A prime example, and I'm so fucking happy and thankful to see this, is this past week back home. And this actually happened down in London. So south of the border of where I'm from, but way down in London, there was a huge gathering, and they were fighting back at the government. 3 million people showed up to say, fuck you. to let them know that no, you're not gonna fucking keep telling us what to do. They showed up 3 fucking million people. That's huge for the size of what it is back home. That's fucking huge. And you had people from Australia, you had people from Wales, you had people from Ireland, you name it. They all fucking showed up and said, "Fuck you." They're getting tired of the bullshit because they're telling everyone back home. For those people that don't know out there, they're trying to tell us back home we can't fly flags. They're trying to say that we cannot fly the flag of our country. Get the fuck out of here. But they're happy to have illegal immigrants come in, go to fucking hotels, pay for the fucking hotels, let them fucking rape children, the whole fucking 9 yards. But I'm not allowed to fly a flag? Yeah, kiss my ass.
Well, I mean,
People are getting pissed, and they're getting pissed real quick, and it's starting to show.
yeah, they're arresting people for what they post in social media.
Dude, they arrested one guy because he screamed out bacon. I shit you not. Literally, a guy got arrested back home because he screamed bacon, and where he was at the time, there were people who don't agree with eating bacon, so they arrested his ass.
Well, when's the last time you went to London?
I don't go to London, dude.
There's a major
Oh, yeah,
problem.
absolutely.
There's
People
major-
are getting arrested on the streets by truckloads nowadays in England for social posts,
Exactly.
for things on social media. They don't have something that we have here in the United States, which is freedom of speech. Unfortunately, that freedom of speech has constantly been under fire since it was written into our country's doctrine.
Yeah, and it's exactly it. Battle Bean, yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. Literally, he was out there, and because of the people he was around, they literally cuffed him and took and arrested him because he said bacon, and that's all he said. He screamed out bacon, and they arrested his ass. And you know, when I went home last year, y'all were like, "Dude, you're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get arrested. You gotta watch your mouth. This, that, the other." Like, I don't care what I say. This is a fucking prime example. If I was that dude, man, it would have been bad.
Deport me to the United States.
Well, you know, the sad thing,
would have
Scotsman,
been fucking bad.
the sad thing is, unfortunately, you having to work and earn your way, go through the process to get in this country, actually are probably more aware of your rights than a lot of average Americans are, which is pretty damn.
And that's a good point and an excellent point. And I'm actually probably more aware of some of the actual regulations and things that actually go on as well. And I'm not trying to be cocky or that, the other. It's just, you know, when I came here, I did my research and I made sure I knew what I was looking into and what I was doing. And anything I ever do, I always do my research. You know, when I got into guns, I spent a lot of time researching what I was getting into. You got to do your research, have the knowledge, build the knowledge. So yeah, I've got a lot of knowledge when it comes to this kind of stuff, and it's crazy to me to see the things that we're seeing.
I've seen a lot of videos lately of, you know, it's kind of like the whole man on the street type thing where they're out there asking people at colleges, stuff about the Constitution or something. They have no clue. Down at the beach or whatever, they'll ask, how many stars do we have on our flag? They have no clue. No clue. Who borders our country? No clue. No clue.
Well, and this is
are
the
you
thing.
kidding me? Like, and these people graduated. They're in college. Like, they don't even know our freaking borders. Like, are you shitting me? This is trash. Like,
This is a big thing. So literally, it's been said many times over that people that actually come here the right way probably know more than citizens do. And we're not trying to be assholes when we say that, but we do our research and we understand it, and we study for the test, so we do know more.
Well,
And we're not trying to be dicks about it. It's just that we actually study and we learn this shit. This
why,
is shit
Man,
you
I'm
should
trying to
know.
blow your head
But the
up. I
problem
was-
is,
why do you
problem
think
is it's not taught anymore.
there's the key?
There's the problem is it's not taught
Civics and
anymore.
government in our
You're being taught what they want you to hear. You're being taught what they want you to learn and understand, and you're being taught what they want to get you to follow a certain way and be a certain way.
so you'll march in line with whatever they say.
Yep, it's programming basically. How to be a good servant. Yeah,
And for
that-
those who
out
don't
there. Well,
realize,
before you've even had a job, we'll get you set up. You got to go for higher education. That's going to get you maybe somewhere. So we'll go into debt for that. You're going to need a car, so you're going to get in a system for that. By the time you actually get the workforce, you already owe a shitload of money. You're owned by the government. You're owned by the creditors. Right out of school.
well, and the big thing is a lot of people don't realize this has been going on since before World War One. This all started back with Lincoln, and a lot of people say, you know, he was assassinated for this or that. He was assassinated because he didn't agree with going into a central banking system, a federal banking system. And then we get to the Titanic, and we go to the Titanic. Now we got people who also disagree.
Well,
With
what's
that
this
system.
shit with the Titanic? When you said that
And-
earlier, I thought you were meaning the Lusitania with our government and maybe not being truthful. What the hell is this Titanic shit? You telling me Leonardo wasn't on the boat? What's going on?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so no, Leonardo was not on the fucking boat, but there were people on the boat who were influential who disagreed with having a Federal Reserve, and that's the entire reason that the boat was sunk.
It didn't hit an
I've
iceberg.
heard something about that. Okay.
It was sunk on purpose. They were taken out on purpose because they were highly influential people, and they disagreed with the Federal Reserve. What happened the year after that the boat sunk? Magically, the Federal Reserve happened. And who created that? The Rothschilds. So you have a lot of influential people out there that have money, and all these different families out there that have money, and they all control the system. They've controlled the system for many fucking years. And to this day, they still control the system.
Did you guys see the thing where that?
The only difference is now we have other people who have a lot of money that also influence the system.
Did you see that thing where that little girl had to do a class project and she ended up linking all the damn presidents, his family?
Yep.
Like almost every single one of them was family. Isn't that a hell of a coincidence? Hell of a coincidence. I just got to, yeah.
Well, have you
Yep.
seen the pictures of Barack Obama when he was a little boy and George Bush was handing him candy? They were like at George Bush's lake retreat, and he was there. He is part of their family.
It's one big club and we ain't in it, folks.
Absolutely. People talk about skull and
Yeah,
bones.
that's the thing. Like
Skull and bones.
we, Battle Bean, we earned it, brother. And I'm right here with you, man. We earned it. We fought for it. We earned it, brother.
So it's, you know, for people that have lived in the United States all their life, it's kind of like putting that frog in cold water and turning the heat up. They haven't seen where they don't understand how we got from where we were to where we are because they slipped it in on them slowly. And it all starts in the education system.
Well,
I've
tried to say this for all the years I've been here, and we brought it up multiple times on the chats, and Alan will recall that I brought this up multiple times on the chats. But I've told you guys back in the early 90s, back home, it happened overnight. We had Dunblane, the school shooting, and literally overnight, they took all of the fucking guns. And that was it. Boom. Done. Overnight. Literally. And then after that, they started taking knives, cutting knives down, and all the fucking laws started changing. Everything went to hell in a handbasket overnight and within a year. It was fucking stupid. And so you literally had nothing to defend yourself.
Well, have you noticed? Will somebody please tell me what is a zombie knife? I keep hearing these reports come out of England. The zombie knife. What's a damn zombie? What
Maybe it's spray painted green.
I don't know what makes a zombie knife a zombie knife. I see some of the ones they show, and I'm like, it's a knife.
No idea, man. Well, that's like a ghost gun, you know. It's kind of hard to see a ghost, you know. I don't really, you know. You set it down and fell through the table. I don't know, you know. Like some of these terms they're kind of ridiculous.
I don't understand what they're getting. The only thing I can understand they're getting at is also in the same conversation they'll talk about, well, any teenager in England can go onto Amazon and order a knife.
Well, no, they can't. So here's the thing. So no, they can't because, again, knife laws are so strict back home that no, you cannot do that. They will not ship it to you unless it's a certain length. If it's over the length of what they say, they will not ship it, period.
Oh, so Amazon.
And so,
Amazon.
you know, I've come to the what I've kind of said over the last couple of years is we're gonna get to the point where a fucking pencil is gonna be illegal. That's where it's getting to. It's getting to the point where a fucking pencil is gonna be illegal.
So a zombie knife. A zombie knife, and I'll just straight read this. The zombie knife law went into effect September 24 of 24, making it illegal to sell or import them. A zombie knife is defined as a bladed weapon over 8 inches long with a sharp point and cutting edge, along with at least one other feature: a serrated edge, more than one hole in the blade, spikes, or more than 2 sharp points.
So it's kind of like the AR-15. If it looks mean, it's a zombie knife.
So yeah, pretty much any decorative knife that you would just put on a stand and set up on your mantle because, well, it looks cool. You wouldn't dare to even try to cut open a watermelon with it because you know you would probably either damage the knife or break it.
See, there's one right there.
Yep, right there. That's a zombie knife. A New York man is in possession of a zombie knife.
That would get you put in jail in England.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In a heartbeat.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know, if you owe John Wick money, you might want them to criminalize number 2 pencils too, because I don't know if you remember what that guy did with a pencil.
Baba Yaga killed how many men was it with a pencil?
I don't know.
Well,
Obviously,
that's one thing. That's one thing that they still don't understand. It's even preached by everybody under the sun. You take away somebody's gun, they're just going to find another avenue.
Absolutely.
They'll use a car. They'll use a knife. They'll use gas. They'll use any avenue they can. Because a man that is evil inherently will do evil, and they will figure out a way to use anything to commit their evil deeds. You can use literally anything, including a pencil made by John Wick.
Yeah, I mean, the story is this. We've got enough laws on the book. Start putting the people in jail and not letting them out. You know, that guy that killed that Ukrainian girl on the train or bus or whatever it was.
Yeah,
He'd been so
somebody
much.
enlighten me. Somebody enlighten me. What? Why? Why did that even happen?
The only thing I heard was when he got through, he stood up and he said, "I got that white bitch." That was his motivation. She was white.
Well, he did. He heard her. He heard her say something, and as soon as he heard her voice, that's when he flipped out and started fucking attacking her.
Yeah, she was just sitting there. I mean, she was sitting there and not bothering anybody with headphones on. And he just jumps up from behind her and stabs her in the neck, you know.
Well, it's just like, you know, unfortunately, like
kind of looked like he was looking over her shoulder, seeing what she was looking at on the phone. So I'm kind of curious what he was scrolling through on the phone, because, you know, is it possible that's something that could have set the guy off too? I don't know. I mean, you know, the guy was obviously a nut, but still,
I mean, it was clearly,
like he was looking at the phone.
It was clearly premeditated. When you have something sitting there and you're ready to freaking rock and roll, it's premeditated. So
yeah, you can.
There's no doubt about that. But you know, you look at things like some of the stuff that's going on, like back home, where you had a 14-year-old girl got raped in a fucking hotel, and it's a migrant hotel, and the guy turns around and says, "Oh, I didn't know we couldn't do that here." What the fuck do you mean you didn't know you couldn't do that here? She's fucking 14, dude. They will literally spew out whatever fucking bullshit they want to spew out in order to try and get away with doing the fucking evil deeds they're doing. And it is evil, people. It is fucking evil.
Yeah.
In some places, if you're not accompanied by a man and there's not 3 witnesses, it could be seen as open game. Yeah, that's the thing when it comes down to like switching cultures. The people gotta wanna kind of, you know, adapt or, you know, blend in with society. You know, you don't necessarily lose your culture, but you gotta leave some of that shit behind. You know, certain things just don't mix. I don't know. A lot of problems with little boys too having.
Well, we're headed in a direction here that's scary. I mean, it's been about 10 years ago. I was in Nairobi, and there's just kind of like in London, there's whole areas of town that are Islamic, and you don't go there. I mean, literally, the only time I ever felt afraid in Africa was when the sun went down, and over the loudspeakers, you start hearing the call to prayer chants coming across the loudspeakers. There's a lot of people there that are not, and the same thing's going to happen. They're doing it right here in the United States. They're trying to do it. The same thing. They're determined they're going to take over the world. I mean, that's their caliphate. They said that one day they will push every religion out.
Well, it's so like back home, for example, the biggest ones we have back home are Indians, Pakistanis, and now we're seeing a lot more from all these other countries too. Israel, you name it, they're all popping in, and the ones that are committing the crimes are those ones. The Pakistanis and the Indians, they've been coming there for years, and we've never had an issue with them. You know, other than the fact that they take up a lot of businesses and all the rest of it. But in general, we've never really had an issue with them. They don't commit crimes like all these other ones that come in. Any of these ones that come from other countries, they're causing the fucking problems.
Yeah, and they're
bring up London. Yeah, he bring up London earlier, and I mean, if you look at the recent statistics on that, the majority of the people there aren't even from there. Basically, it's, you know, kind of been taken over by what would be perceived as immigrants.
The whole country has been taken over, man.
Well,
the whole country has been taken over.
The whole
country is overridden with immigrants, and They're not legal immigrants. They're all fucking illegal ones. And it is absolutely fucking destroying the country. It's destroying every part of it. And the government are the ones that fucking made that happen. And they sit there and try to say this, that, the other bullshit. And they are the ones that caused it. And so now you got other parties that come up trying to fight back against it. And you got problems there too, because they're not necessarily always on the right side as well. And then you also have other parties and other people that step up, people that are separate from that, like the huge parade and stand up we had in London here not too long ago, this past week, where we had 3 million people show up. They showed up because one person was like, hey, you know, we got to wake up. We got to realize what's going on. We got to stand up and we got to fight back. And I've said this to all of you guys over the years many, many times. It only takes one person to stand up and say, fight back.
It's awful hard to fight the government back when they've already stripped you of all your weapons.
Well, and
keep that in mind, people. Yeah, that's what they're going for. That's why they want all of us fighting each other, so they can strip our goddamn rights, let you out of jail, let you keep creating havoc, strip more rights from people, defend themselves, and now we're all like suspects. I can't think of the word, but yeah, all under the goddamn thumb without a say, even to vote.
Well, this is the thing. Yes, they want you to fight each other, but we're not trying to fight each other back home. The thing of it back home is we're all coming together back home, and that's cool. That's cool to see that people are finally waking up and realizing what's going on, and they're coming together. When people come together, yes, things will change.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to have over here, too. We have to have people coming together, having that realization, waking the fuck up, understanding what's going on. And instead of trying to fight me or fight you because you have a slightly different opinion than I do to you, wake up and realize that we're fighting for more than just your fucking opinion.
I mean, anybody that wants to go turn in their guns, they can do that right now.
Yeah, send them to him, send them to me, but we're happy to take them.
Yeah, I'll even give you some money. The police won't, but
they'll give you something, but it ain't give you anywhere near close what it's worth.
$20 Walmart gift card.
Yeah.
Shit, you're getting high up there, man. That was more than 10.
That's what was at the last one here. I tried buying them, and that was a whole fiasco. But
you gotta love the guy's motivation. The guy that took, they were doing a buyback, and he took a whole shipping crate of AR-15 lowers. And they said, we're not buying those. We're not going to give you the money for those. He goes, wait a minute. You said if it was legally considered a firearm that you would pay on it. And he said, well, that's what this is. He said, you consider an AR-15 lower a firearm. That's why the serial number's on it. That's why it's the part that you have to have an FFL to sell it to you. I have to file the federal paperwork to get it. It's a firearm. Now I've got a crate full of them right here. I want you to give me the money for them, because they were at that time they were paying more than the lowers were worth, practically double, and they tried to refuse, and it ended up in a big court case and everything else. I thought that was hilarious.
So let me address this comment here. So SKS Hugo has used the pencil for self-defense. SKS Hugo, I was asked many years ago, I believe it was 2013, maybe 2012, somewhere in there. I had a guy that would keep coming up to me and asking me how many ways I knew how to kill someone. And every time he'd come up and ask me, I'd have something different in my hand. And I'm like, do you want me to show you? And as soon as I said that, he'd walk away. Don't ask people how many ways they know how to kill someone when they have something in their hands. And in general, please just don't ask people how they know how to kill someone, because it's really not a good idea.
And it's even worse idea to answer them.
I never gave him a solid answer, because I just looked him straight in the face like, dude, just walk away, please. Just walk away.
It's real.
Get to
It's
the point, but
fast that statement that you would tell him, that reply, if you told him anything, he'll turn that around when he goes to the authorities and says, he told me he would take a Webster's dictionary and showed me how he would kill me with it.
yeah. I get your point, but I think, it's good to know how to do everything efficiently.
No.
Not to state that you need to or you want to, but if that whole shock factor, which gets people killed, like maybe even that girl on the train just sitting there looking at the dude, that shock factor gets people killed. So, at a certain point, you have to, have these conversations with yourself.
No. You have to know how to defend yourself.
You have to.
You have to know how to fight back. You have to know how to do all these different things. The thing of it is you don't go out there bragging about it, and that's the thing of it.
No, yeah, I'm with you.
We all make videos, and we talk about how to defend yourself, how to do this and that, and the other. We're not trying to brag when we're posting these videos. We're trying to help other people learn. That's the thing of it. We're not trying to brag about what we know. I'm never going to tell you I know more than someone else does. I will never tell you that. I'm going to tell you I know what I know, and I can get by. That's it. I'm never going to tell you I know more than anyone else does. I'm going to tell you I know what I know. I can get by and defend myself, and that's pretty much it. Is there a possibility I'm going to get hurt? Yeah, there's always that possibility. Someone may know more than I do, and that's going to happen. You're going to come across someone that knows way more than you do, and if you happen to get into that fight at that point in time, yeah, you may get lucky. You may not get lucky. You never know. Shit happens, man. You need to understand just the basics of how to defend yourself and how to get out of a situation. And the biggest thing of getting out of that situation is being able to figure out how to get out of it without getting into the actual fight itself.
Yeah, I think if the reality is true, most people that are highly trained, especially in firearms, they'll tell you your first choice, the first best choice is to not get in that damn position.
Mm-hmm.
Even hand-to-hand combat, I'm going to tell you, walk away.
Yeah. I
don't want to get into it. I don't know what this motherfucker knows.
My pride heals faster than my body does at this stage.
Dude, I'm starting to get up there. I don't heal as fast as I used to.
Well, I guess that as well, but not even that. But honestly, TV has people fooled. People are brittle. People break pretty easily. If you have, previously been engaged in some issues and, outcomes, broken jaws, things add up ridiculous. Is your pride worth more than your pocket sometimes? That's one thing I think where people got to think sometimes, just because you can doesn't mean you always have to.
Well,
walk away. If they want to try to chase you down, well, may God help them. That's all I can say.
Well, in reality, you got to look at certain things. So, like for example, and I'll just throw this out there as an example. I know the body. And when I say I know the body, what I mean is I know the pressure points. I know the nerve points. I know the things where I can disable you probably quicker than most people can. And that's not trying to show off. It's just that I've studied this shit over the years and I know these things. And so if someone comes at me, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the things that are going to disable them the fastest, quickest way possible and put them to the ground so that I can get away. I don't want to have to draw my firearm unless I actually fucking have to. Now, if I have to, will I use it? If I have to, yes. But not unless I really, really have to. I'm going to do everything else I can in the meantime to disable and get away. And that's the big thing is people need to understand and go learn the simple physics of different areas of the body and understand how to disable someone and get away. It's really not that hard. There's a lot of different nerves in the body. There's a lot of different points in the body that you can strike, and you don't even have to strike them super hard. You just got to hit it in the right spot, and that person will go down, and you can run.
But even you, I mean, even as a skilled fighter and knowing these techniques, things can go wrong.
Absolutely.
Yep. It can happen.
Absolutely.
Some bear might, some guy the size of a bear could grab you.
That's precisely why I carry a firearm. Precisely why I carry a knife. Because if shit goes wrong and I'm not able to do the things I know how to do, hand-to-hand combat, I have other options.
Yeah, so we're talking about first and foremost, evade it. Evade the issue, evade the problem.
Absolutely. You do everything you can do to get away. And I will say this, and I've said this many, many times over the years, and I don't care what trainer you go to, what they tell you, they're going to be a piss poor trainer if they tell you two to the head, two to the chest, one to the head, whatever. You keep on firing until that threat stops, period. I don't fucking care what fucking trainer, where they've been, who taught them. I don't care. The problem that you have is if you have someone coming at you, you don't know what they're on, you don't know what they got in their system, and all those things come into play. There's been plenty of different videos, evidence of cops being attacked where the cops are fucking put rounds upon rounds downrange into someone, and they're still coming at them, and they're still having problems. You unload that fucking magazine, and you reload it if you have to, if that person's still coming.
Yeah.
You keep putting rounds downrange until they are done, period.
I love when I went to Thunder Ranch and went to listen to Clint Smith. One of the things he said was, he said, you shoot until the threat stops. He said, and there's going to be a lot of people that'll tell you, how am I going to explain it when I go to court and I shot a guy 12 times? They said, you know, Your Honor, Mr. Martin shot this guy 12 times. No, I didn't. I shot until the threat stopped. It was never my intention to put 12 rounds into anybody.
Well, and this is the thing. This is where it comes into having a good lawyer versus having the bad lawyer. And this is where it comes into you understanding your rights, you understand the law, and you understanding what you can and cannot do. And actually having good representation. So, again, you really got to pay attention to what's going on in the entire situation throughout everything that's happening. And the biggest thing of it is, and it doesn't matter if you're in a state where it says you can stand your ground or not, if you can get away, get away. That's the biggest thing. And if you can't get away, that's when you stand there and you do what you got to do. And if it comes down to it and you have to take that gun out and you have to pull that trigger, you put every goddamn motherfucking round downrange until that threat stops, period. No ifs, ands, or fucking buts.
I live in a state where self-defense is respected. You know, that is one good thing about living in the South. You know, somebody attacks you, you defend yourself, and they lose their life in the process. This is kind of one of those oh well states.
Honestly, how it should be everywhere. Personally, don't start no problems, there won't be no damn problems. But unfortunately, states like New York, that's different. You got to get like hit twice or something before you can actually supposedly defend yourself legally, which is, trying to fit the situation. It's a bunch of shit. But yeah, it's depending how things go, it doesn't always work that way. But legally, I think that's the law on it here. So kind of crazy.
All right,
But yeah,
we're right at that time, so we'll start going through the room. Bama Dad, we'll start with you, man. What you got?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just doing some loading this week. I think Jamie said he's going to try to get together. We're going to try to get together and go to the CMP and go to the range and do some shooting in Talladega, Alabama.
Nice. Good deal, man. Good deal. Rob, what you got going on, brother?
Not much. Probably a head gasket at some point this coming week, but other than that, don't really know. I got a potential little short in the works, but other than that, that's about it. So work, surviving, dodging landmines, trying not to be the guy you read about in the paper. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us.
Always appreciate you, brother. And yeah, man, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. And thanks for, throwing out different viewpoints, man. This is what America is. We have different viewpoints and we welcome it. I'm not sitting here telling you can't have this, you can't have that. We welcome the different viewpoints. So thank you for that. And thank you for bringing that and bringing what you have to the table. Jamie, what you got, brother?
I'm actually trying to get this gas check maker to work. So I'm out of gas checks. So I'm trying to make some. Maybe I should make a video about that. Other than that, Georgia Shooting Connection, Friday nights at 8:00. Come and join us. We'll have a good time. And thank y'all for putting up with me this evening. I appreciate you.
I always appreciate you, man. And so I got a couple different videos coming up. I got a bunch of cleaning to do on the bench. I got so much crap going on the bench right now. So videos are coming, but I got to get the bench cleaned up. I got packages from Christian Dressed. And I got another package in from another company that sent me something to review. So we'll get those videos done. Hopefully in this coming week. Like I said, I got a lot of cleaning up to do. The place is a freaking disaster. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. Appreciate everyone out there jumping in, having an opinion, letting us know what you think, what's going on. Please stay safe, stay vigilant, be a part of the conversation, and step up and go talk to your representatives, please. Let them know what you feel, let them know what you think, and what's going on with the country. Because we're the ones that make the change, and we have to be the ones that make the change. So get out there and say what you got to say. With that being said, I will throw it over to my good brother, the one, the only, Allen B. Pro. Please take us out right, brother.
Oh, man, we didn't even talk about 3i Atlas at all.
Oh, shit.
That's terrible, terrible. I will part this. I was followed Charlie Kirk for a very long time now, for years, and he had a belief that the degradation of America, the downfall that was coming to America and so forth, was because people had lost their faith and their beliefs, your religion, however you consider that, or if you don't consider it at all. But that was Charlie Kirk's belief. And I think there's something to that.
Absolutely.
The one thing that I do want to impart upon everybody is to keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!